We're running and gunning and saying our thoughts. Though we have different minds, at the same time we bring what's up. To help your mind grow in the mental. Give knowledge with advice plus all essentials. So if you haven't heard, then act like you know. It's the Runner and Gunner Show. Runner and Gunner Show. The Runner and Gunner Show. Gunner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present Runner and Gunner.
Monday morning sips. Cracks or sips? What are we doing?
Either way, I'm cracking.
Oh, me too.
Just like we crack knowledge and we crack safes to the knowledge bank and we cash it in. But last week we weren't cashing in too much. So we just want to say last week's episode was a little
sorry,
different and difficult because we are sorry for talking too much trash.
Runner and Gunner Show, we got two rules. We don't cuss, and we don't talk about things we don't like.
FAS.
Last week, we broke both those rules, and I think every topic was something that we hated.
We don't talk about that kind of stuff. We're trying to uplift your minds and get your mental state ready for
we are
this
here
Monday
to help you.
And so welcome to the August 16th, 2021
edition of
the Runner
and Gunner
Show.
That's right. All right, this episode already feels a lot better than last week.
Way better knowledge.
But in our defense, we were very sipped.
Yeah, those The Rock, man, he makes some really good stuff.
Rock, you make some really good tequila, bro.
But that tequila really got us.
It got us a little aggro, so I don't know how good it is, to tell you the truth, ingredients-wise. But isn't that what tequila's supposed to do? Just let it all hang out?
I think so, I mean, it's supposed to fill you up, kind of, get you jacked a lot of, and then after that, there should be no come down. So what I'm saying is, we were up at that time, and the come down happened later on that evening, and it wasn't pretty, everybody. But what happened was that we kind of went overboard on our dislikes, and we forgot about our likes. So we kind of just took the aggression into your minds and our minds, and it all came out and spewed out on air.
So, Rock, I'm going to have to say that your tequila was pretty good.
Thank you for your tequila, Rock.
Thank you very much.
And speaking of The Rock, what about
The Rock versus John Cena? Who can see me now?
Who can see you now?
Who can see what?
What? The Rock is cooking. Is something amazing that he started with his wrestling. I think he debuted before John Cena. Am I correct?
Yeah, Rock debuted in like 97?
And when did John Cena debut?
2001.
So the age difference is quite
substantial.
Yes, indeed. So it's not a big age difference, and they both did wrestle, and they both were superstars in the WWE, and they both kicked ass. I mean, they were both great personalities in their sport, very professional, very good. Both held up that belt in the air with pride.
Now it's a different belt, the Hollywood belt. Now this is actually a real fight for who's a better actor.
Oh, so are we going The Rock versus John Cena in acting or in wrestling?
First of all, let's name off a few of their movies.
Overall.
Their movies are... The Rock did The Mummy. Then he did The Rundown. Then he did the Johnny Knoxville movie.
John Knoxville!
Then he did the movie where he's the Tooth Fairy.
It's called Tooth Fairy.
Then he did the movie where he's the dad of the girl, and he's a football player.
It's called Daddy Girl Football.
Something like that. And then he started finally making good movies.
Yeah. Like he did that football movie with Exhibit also.
The Rundown.
Monday
Gridiron
Night
Gang.
Lights or something. Gridiron Gang. Yeah, that was a good one also.
That's when he started changing. He became himself.
He was
Instead
cool
of Arnold
in that Gridiron one, though.
We expected him to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. He wasn't. But he's himself. He's The Rock.
He is The Rock.
He made more money than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, he did.
John Cena.
John Cena
started off in an Amy Schumer movie, or the Baby Mama movie, and then he did the Amy Schumer movie, And then
that was the Amy Schumer's friend, the other girl. No.
Yeah, they're
Faye?
friends. Yeah,
Louis?
Tammy Faye and Amy Schumer. They're like best friends.
Yeah.
He did The Marine first, but that movie was his acting was bad. But then he started
was still
acting
learning.
good.
Learn, live and learn.
He obviously hired some acting coaches. He's got the money.
In Hollywood.
It's the best because that guy has been getting good. Then he did the Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home.
And he was cool.
Oh man, Daddy's Home was cool.
And then
He was in
Daddy's Home 2.
part 2, I think only.
And that, yeah,
I
he was in the end of part 1.
Oh,
and then
he
he
came
was
out
in
in
all
the
of
end.
part 2.
I didn't see the end of part 1. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, I don't recall. So remind everybody out there, since I don't recall, probably a lot of people out there don't remember the scene where John Cena was in with Mark Wahlberg, and along with Will Ferrell and who else was in it? I don't know. I think it was just them three probably, but it was probably Mark Wahlberg versus John Cena. So what happened at the end of Daddy's Home Part 1?
First
just
of all,
to give him a little reminder.
John Cena is a way better Mark Wahlberg than Mark Wahlberg is. I think he's a way better Mark Wahlberg than Mark Wahlberg was back in the Marky Mark days. That's how good John Cena is.
Good vibration.
But then John Cena started really breaking off, and he made that movie Best Friends, or My Daughters Are Losing Their Virginity.
Where they went to...
what's that movie called?
I forgot. It was about the
Chicken Friends.
Chicken Cluckers or something.
Chicken Cluckers.
Yeah, Chicken Cluckers or something.
Yeah.
So you got to lose your chickenhood or something?
Yeah.
And don't be a chicken and
that
open the doors.
That movie was funny. A little vulgar.
It was funny.
The Rock's never done anything that vulgar. But...
And then I guess the two parents got together, something like that, right? It was the two parents.
Yeah,
and the
they
kids
were
that
married.
Going out.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, it was a cool show. But anyways, back to.
But it wasn't that good. It wasn't the Rock level
back
yet.
to the end of the what's it called? The show where John Cena came out with Mark Wahlberg.
Baby
the last
Daddy.
Scene. So what happened in the last
Daddy's
scene?
Home. Oh, so in the end of Daddy's Home Part 1, John Cena comes and he's the stepdad to Mark Wahlberg's new baby's mama. And so he's getting treated by John Cena the way he was treating Will Ferrell. And then in the second one, John Cena's in all of the movie where he's just punking Mark Wahlberg the whole movie.
The whole movie.
And let me tell you, Mark Wahlberg's afraid of John Cena because that fool will body slam
Break him in half.
And Mark Wahlberg, I love you. You actually are one of my favorite
Mark
actors, so
cool.
I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, just trying to say John Cena versus
Ted
The Rock.
and Ted 2.
Ted 2 was so funny.
They were both great movies, and John Cena, like you were talking about Daddy's Home Part 2, John Cena was cool because he actually sang. He showed a little bit of sensitivity.
Yeah.
Because it came out around Christmas time. I forget what year, but it came out around Christmas time, and they had a little
movie.
singing scene. And then John Cena goes, "That's my favorite song." Towards the end of the movie.
Oh yeah, I like the little boy when he kisses that girl.
Freaking,
he kisses the little girl. And then that other little freaking boy is trying to stand in the kissing booth. And you know Mark Wahlberg's son would knock that fool out and be like, dude, I don't kiss boys. I only kiss girls. But anyways, the point is John Cena versus The Rock.
John Cena versus The
John
Rock.
Cena started making little movies called Suicide Squad and Fast and Furious.
Whoa.
And Rock is starting to make movies called Jumanji, Jumanji 2, and Jungle Cruise.
But wait a minute, Gunnar, wasn't The Rock originally in Fast and the Furious?
And it was great.
So what the heck happened? How did he get canceled out?
Oh.
Or did he decline himself out?
Well, Rock is 6'5", and so he got mad at a little 6'1" guy for making more money than him. Rock, you don't got nothing to be jealous with Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is great in his own right. He worked with Steven Spielberg. He's an amazing actor.
After a truck.
But Rock, you do your thing, and it's fun. And Jumanji 1 and Jumanji 2 are great.
Pretty
Jungle
excellent.
Cruise, I don't know, man.
Kind of unexcellent, but okay.
Took 5 years to come out, and then...
It's still pretty okay, though. It's not
The
bad.
best part I thought about it was that the brother, the freaking Jim's wife's brother, liked sisters.
Uh-huh.
You know, that was his secret that he didn't like, his own ladies. He liked
He did.
African ladies.
He liked those.
And so do I.
He did it, and we all do.
So, John Cena, though, versus The Rock. Who's better?
Well, this is a very hard thing. We just been talking about this so much.
Oh, sorry.
And
who's a better actor?
Been so hard to pick one, and by choice, I would still stick with The Rock because I think The Rock is a better actor. And overall, even in the WWE, I liked him more back then. But John Cena was actually a butt kicker. back then because
John
Cena was the man. He was actually bigger, I think. But even though he
think he
maybe
was stronger,
his
tougher
arms,
too.
He was a big guy, and he's still
Tougher
a big
too.
guy, and he's still a tough guy.
Yeah.
But I would still pick The Rock because I like Kevin Hart a lot, and he worked with Kevin Hart in a few movies, and I think The Rock has a little more comedic style than John Cena, even though it's not The Rock himself.
The Rock was a way better character than any movie.
I think acting-wise, I would choose The Rock. What about you, Gunner?
I'm going to go ahead and go with John Cena, only because that guy is getting really good lately. He's funnier. I think he's more Arnold Schwarzenegger than The Rock. He doesn't make as much money, but I think that his acting's better. The Rock, gets more ladies. I know The Rock has more babies. The Rock is married. Mm-hmm. But in terms of acting, I'm going to take John Cena. No, nothing against The Rock. I love The Rock, and I see all his movies. And if I ever work with you, The Rock, don't hold this against me. I think you're a great actor. You're not quite Arnold Schwarzenegger, but neither is John Cena.
Same. If I work with John Cena, I feel the same way.
To our next one.
And let's go to the next thing. You just were talking about how Arnold was just as good as John Cena and The Rock together.
But who was as good as Arnold?
A little guy named
Sylvester.
Sly the guy.
Stallone. The man.
Sly Stallone. So everybody loves Sylvester. There is no other besides him because everybody knows who Rocky is. Everybody knows who the Terminator is. Everybody knows these characters. Rambo, Conan. Wow.
Let's do a little rundown. Runner and Gunner down.
About.
So,
Runner and Gunner.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Commando. Predator. Kindergarten Cop.
Whoa.
Terminator 1. Terminator 2.
T2.
Running Man.
Conan.
Red Sonja. Conan Part 2. Eraser. True Lies.
Whoa. That is a big...
Jingle All the Way.
Oh, Tom Arnold.
So let's do Sylvester Stallone. Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rambo 1, Rambo 2, Rambo 3.
Rambo 5.
And then he started making Expendables, and those movies were pretty cool. Expendables 1, Expendables 2, Expendables 3.
Expendables 10.
Prison Break. Movie Bullet to the Head.
Bullet to the Head. Throw your mama off the train.
Throw mama from the train. All great movies.
All great.
Both of them.
Both of them are freaking classic. Both of them are legendary actors. There's no doubt that they're both in the Hollywood Hall of Fame. The Hollywood Hall of Fame is the Hollywood Walk on Hollywood Boulevard, and they both have imprinted their freaking stamps on that stuff. So this means so much. They are both great. We love them both. I mean, dang, there's so much to say about these guys. The other two guys have not reached this level of success that these new two guys that we are talking about. It's because they came from back in the days when
the old two guys.
They actually created the pathway for these for The Rock and John Cena is what I'm saying. So Sylvester and Arnold, the Governator, did create pathways for John Cena and The Rock. So
absolutely,
their freaking movies were amazing. Their acting wasn't the greatest, but it was freaking amazing.
Entertaining.
They had something that a lot of people do not have now. They have what people do not have now, which is entertainment. The
entertainment value.
To be themselves. Arnold never tried to change his accent. He just went out there like himself.
Yep.
Freaking Sylvester Stallone never changed his accent. Just went out there like himself. And guess what? They still sold millions and billions of freaking revenue.
Yes.
On
VHS and movie theaters. And don't forget, Sylvester Stallone was also in a music video by Green Jelly. So, Runner.
Gunner.
We're not going to do who's a better actor because they were not very good actors. It's not about that.
See, this one's closer than the last one. This one is closer than the last one to me. The last one was close.
So the question is, who's cooler, Arnold or Sly?
It's not being cooler. So cooler, I would still say Sly is second best to Arnold.
I gotta say Arnold was the best too.
I like Arnold that much.
We finally agree.
There we go. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Take a sip. Take a sip of Henny.
There you go. So yeah, we both agree Arnold is the one. And just in coolness, we're not talking about actingness. We're not talking about anything else. We're just saying who was cooler. Only because he wore that To me, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, everybody. In my opinion out there, it was that he wore that cool-ass Terminator suit. And he dressed like an 80s punk.
It was just it.
And he had those glasses, and he just
is.
was the man. So he had it, and Sylvester actually had it too. So it's hard to... It could go back and forth. You know, people could go back and forth about this subject over and over. But at least we both agree.
Jordan and Magic Johnson.
Exactly.
Who's better?
Exactly. LeBron James and Kobe Bryant.
Who's better? That would be John Cena and The Rock.
That's the same thing. You know, it's rough.
All right, so we got a commercial break, and we'll come back with a little bit more. But before we do this commercial break, let's just do this real quick.
Pull it back.
When we come back, John Cena and The Rock in a tag team match
versus Arnold and Sly.
After these commercial breaks.
Go down.
McDonald's, how may I help you?
Yes, hello. Could I have 25 Big Macs?
Is that all?
Yes, 50 cheeseburgers, or I'm gonna throw rolling rocks that are frozen at you, nigga.
If you're fat and you're a chef and you can't cook for shit. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And now it is time, that segment of the show, we're going to take a quick runner and gunner puff. Enjoy.
Puffity-doo. We'll get back in a second. Next week, we have a special interview with @CCryptoNow and Robert N.
Ready for crypto, man.
What's up, everybody? It's August 16th, 2021. It is 8 a.m., and we're going back to our topic.
To the topic that we were talking about.
What is it?
It is the tag team edition of John Cena and The Rock versus Arnold and Sly Stallone.
Oh, super tag team. That is the tag team of a life. Who would win? John Cena and The Rock or Arnold and Sly?
So are we talking about at their primes? Or are we talking about wrestling? Are we talking about movies? Everybody wants to know, what are we talking about?
All right, we're talking about everybody at
their
45 years old.
Of 45. If your prime is 45, then get ready. Start freaking pumping up right now that you're 25, 15, 35, and under. Because you got to get ready. The Rock came from under a rock.
He already loses because he started
many,
making his best movies at 50.
Oh.
His best movies are coming out now.
Slice out The Rock.
So that's a body slam to him.
One gone. John Cena next.
John Cena, he might be the next Anthony Hopkins.
So, Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone is Anthony Hopkins.
And now we are going into overtime. One guy is out. Two guys are in from one team.
Arnold
one guy is in by himself.
Sly versus John Cena.
Now, here we go. John Cena steps in the ring. Sly Stallone jumps under the ropes, steps right on in.
And what do you think? I think this. I think John Cena doesn't got enough time right now to be better than Arnold before 45 years old.
He is bigger than Stallone. He is bigger and stronger. He might be able to take him out throughout the movies and throughout the wrestling ring.
And here comes Arnold Schwarzenegger with Total Recall. Boom, the match is over.
Everything blew up. I'll be back. He went to the restroom and he just murdered everybody.
And Sly was there to sweep up all the glory as well.
Thank you.
So, the winner of that match, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly.
And now, Arnold did actually win because he was the one. It was a tag team.
Hands down alone, Arnold won.
Probably be well.
Then
there's only one, Mr. Universe. But I think the rest of the world might not agree. But there are people out there who would say that the universe is much bigger than the planet Earth.
Then do it. Don't say it. Don't do it. Go down.
Chopper now. So
obviously Arnold wins. He's got better movies than all three of those people.
He's probably the coolest guy than all three of them as well. Yeah. I would think. And I mean, they're all cool people, though. I mean, I would love to hang with all those guys any day of the week.
But what about next week's match? John Cena and The Rock
Super special.
versus Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly versus
Stallone.
Bruce
Lee and Chuck Norris.
All that next week on the Runner and Gunner Show after these commercial breaks.
Who gets the stains out of your shirt? And for what it's worth, Tide. Runner and Gunner Show, and let's talk about 1959. How were things so different than they are now? Think, how many years ago was that, Gunner? Let them know.
Oh, wow. Let me tell you what was going down in 1959. It's a little thing that I call doo-wop, where people were going around in the corners singing with each other in harmony to make the music without any without any instruments, a cappella.
And it was all a cappella, and they actually used to call another genre barbershop. Barbershop was like super deep doo-wop. And doo-wop was, everything was vocalized just like you were saying. This was way before the electric guitar actually came to place. So before the electric guitar came to place, there was vocalizing. And vocalizing was your number one instrument back then. The best instrument that you could have was to just harmonize with your humble neighbors, friends, cousins, family, etc., etc. And then get down, try and make an album. Everybody used to do that around every neighborhood at these times. And the barbershop reason was because they used to have these little twisty peppermint things on the barbershop. And then the guys would be in front going doom doom ba doom ba doom ba doom ba doom doom boom ba boom boom ba doom boom ba doom ba doom ba dee boom 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 ba doom boom 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 boom. 1959.
1959 also,
1959.
it was fresh off the 40s, and the 40s, the World War II music, big band. It was fresh off of that.
Yeah.
But it spawned and twisted with this country and blues thing that was going on, and it made a little thing we called rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
And that's what we talk about when we say 1959.
1959 was one of the greatest years of all time of American history, and so were every other year after that. But the music was freaking amazing. They knew how to get to your ear back then. They knew how to reach your mind and your eardrums and just make time classic.
Check out their catalogs.
Think about Lenny's. Think about your 5-year grandparents.
Lenny's, listen up.
Ago. Not 5 years, but 5 generations skipping backwards. Skip that rock backwards and figure out who they are. The branch on the tree, 1959. That's what you will see. Check it out.
And you know what?
Good stuff never stops.
1959 led into 1960s. It was the rock and roll.
60s is when the real rock started. But the 1959 was when everything was polite, before things got a little too advanced for time, as we should say.
Yeah, because it was electric
ready.
guitar. It's the guitar period.
It was the electric guitar. Country was big in the 50s, actually.
But
country
from 59 to 60s, rock and roll went down. It went so down that it spread into other countries, not just England, not just America, not just Germany, not just Scotland, but also in Africa, also in Asia,
Viva la Mexico!
and also in Mexico.
Rock and roll.
I'll take a sip to
Let's
that.
cheers to that, Gunner. So what we're talking about, this is 1960s rock and roll. Ancho Mexico. In Mexico. Mexico. That means
these
down
guys were
south of the
clearly
border.
copying, the Zombies and the Beatles.
Wait, let's give them a little taste of the flavor
one
more time.
You didn't know about this stuff?
This is the 1960s Mexican rock and roll.
This is what's going down on the Runner and Gunner Show.
So good.
Tune in every week because we're doing things far ahead of our times. In 2 years, you're going to love us.
You're going to love us more than you love your own water.
We're going to be more popular than John Lennon.
John Lennon's draws on the internet. That's how popular we're gonna be. So if you bid for that, we're more popular than those. That's for damn sure.
Yes. All right, everybody. Mexico had rock and roll. What did you think? You didn't think that Mexico, right next to California, didn't know who the Beatles were?
They are just on the shoreline. They didn't. Not only did they know who the Beatles were, but they actually proudly
just like England.
People like the Beach Boys. You know, because they were on the shoreline. The beach music is just like the Mexicans used to make the same stuff.
It's the same music.
Not the Mexican, the Mexicanos like us.
It's
and
very
they used to make that
tribal.
good stuff, and it's really good, and you could feel the Mexican vibe within it. If you are a Mexicano, then you could feel what the hell is going on, because we felt that old school 60s vibe, but with their culture, and they were trying to bring it just as the same way as John Lennon, Ringo Starr, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison brought it. That's what they're trying to do.
Just like the Beatles. It's just like George Harrison and John Lennon brought it. You know, they brought it without any blues inspiration particularly. And Mexico doesn't really have blues inspirations. Particularly, really. It's more country and western. It's more
country, western, and party time.
But rock and roll is both blues and country and western fused together. So it is there. The blues is still there in that Mexican music.
It's still there, and they still caught the vibe of it. So
still caught it.
It was all going down. You know, everybody has the blues. Everybody has the country western.
Just
even
not
to
on the internet.
Day, but they do not produce it the way it used to be, but at the same time, it can be done. So get out there and get it done. And we love you guys very much.
Yo, man, I don't think they heard you. Why don't you tell them what your name is?
So now we're going Adidas versus Nike.
Nikes!
So which ones do you think are more comfortable? Which ones fit you correctly? What will you wear tomorrow when you wake up?
What will you wear?
Adidas, Nikes, or the other guy?
Skechers?
So shoes are very comfortable, and they're very popular in the sports industry. Everybody wears them. Cleats are wherever you have to go. Adidas and Nikes have always been battling at it, and so is Reebok. Reebok is third place. So Adidas and Nikes are still going at it, and everybody wants to know which one is the bigger source, which one has more revenue, which one has more activity, which one makes you jump faster, go farther.
Which one has more comfort?
Yeah, which one makes you feel good?
I heard some disheartening facts about Nike and Adidas, that they run sweatshops overseas in the islands. But then if we brought it back to America, would the shoes be as comfortable? I'd say bring them back to America.
I think the
robots can
the
make
countries
them.
are doing good over there. It is so sad. I feel bad for the people that are
I know,
that are giving their children away,
God
because
bless
I
them.
would never give my children away. Cheers to that. But there is places called shops that sweat, something like that. But I think that,
I guess we could only say we hope everything gets better.
yeah, and I hope that you're not sweating in any shops, because that cannot happen
Hey, Runner, could I ask you a question?
with the Nikes or Adidas.
What happened to rock and roll?
Rock and roll.
No, really, what happened to it? It used to exist. Now it don't exist anymore. You got bands like, Saliva, that band, it never stopped existing.
Saliva.
Saliva just kept going, and now all the bands are Saliva. So we get to hear 50 million bands of
That
Saliva,
are much better.
but no Beatles, just one Beatles.
So what Gunner is saying, that what the heck happened to the real old live bands before they got synthesized, before they got electronic? What the heck happened
Let me
to
put it this
the
way.
globe?
When the Olympics came around this year, they were breaking world records. How come you're not breaking world records in terms of sophisticated rock and roll anymore? That's like the javelin. That's like them taking out the javelin and the 100-man dash.
Yep, everything.
All right, everybody. We'll
Now
talk about
it's
that a little more
time
next
for
week
a little
and every week, because we're about
segment
to rock and roll.
The
2-minute rundown. All right, everybody.
Here we go. So, Roy Orbison is one of the greatest artists of all time. I just wanted to let you know that I show him nothing but love and nothing but grace. I think he's one of the best. No one can replace him. What do you think about him?
I think Little League Baseball is back, and they're a little bit better than Roy Orbison since he died in 1988. because all he did was drink Coke and smoke cigarettes.
Smoke coke and juice.
NFL's coming back,
right
everybody.
On. NFL preseason
Tesla
has
stock is
started,
going up. Go ahead and purchase yourself some stock.
We are getting ready to see every favorite team in the NFL for your season.
All
don't
right,
forget
everybody.
that Tesla stock
Have a
going
great
up.
Monday.
And don't forget, have a great Monday.
Solid.
Running Gun are not responsible for any injuries, postponements, or collateral that may occur during or post segments of our entirety of the show. You are now or have been listening to. We would like to add any involvement with similar subjects in the show are completely coincidental and may or may not be facts. We would also like to thank you, Lennox.